Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Grace and Profit Remote Bookkeeper Business Live. I'm happy to have you all here. Sorry for the delay. We had some challenges. This is only going to be about 30 minutes. So I want to thank everyone for showing up. And just want to let you know, first of all, this is not a sales call. It's just a recap of what we went through for the last 4 weeks. And I have some notes on my cell phone, so I'm going to probably be looking down and reading just to make this go a little bit faster. So it's more of a webcast right now. So I know it can be overwhelming learning something new, but I want to assure you that it's something that can be learned. And if you've gone through the full 4 weeks, you should know that it's pretty easy to learn. And the way I developed the course was to make it easier on you. We are developing a couple of more courses that are a little more involved and more detailed to get you to the point where you can start getting clients. This was just a course to let you see if this is something that you're interested in. So the biggest things that you should actually know is that you need to pretty much understand basic bookkeeping, and those things happen as you continue to grow. So if I were to be starting a remote bookkeeping business this year, I want to go over some of the things that I would do. But first of all, I forgot to tell you, first of all, who I am. I'm Marriott, the creator of the course. I'm a certified public accountant in California, and I have over 30 years of experience. I have run a successful accounting practice for 10 years, and I am actually working on building a new one. So that is something that I'm thinking about doing, is starting a challenge with whoever wants to that's from this group. And we can work on starting our business together, and I can work hand in hand with you and guide you on that. But it depends on the response that I get. I had a pretty overwhelming response from people that said they were interested. But then when we got down to the nitty gritty of me sending out the course, maybe 10 to 20 people started the course. And I think we got down to maybe 5 that actually worked on the course. And I really don't know how many finished, but it's an excellent course, if I have to say so myself. So let's get into what I would do if I were starting a new remote bookkeeping business in 2026. And let's start with the roadmap for the first 30 to 60 days. So if I were starting today, I would focus on from days 1 through 30, I will focus on the core, which is learning the core bookkeeping concepts, not everything, but the core concepts that will help you take on a client and complete the work in QuickBooks Online. I would practice inside QuickBooks to get an understanding on how to process income, expenses, work with bank feeds, and do reconciliations. And I would say get comfortable and check and get back to you to get comfortable. I'm sorry, I'm messing up. And so that would be the first 30 days, is just really understanding the concepts, the core concepts. And I might have to add also getting some kind of understanding of QuickBooks Online, which is easy. QuickBooks Online is free, and they have sample companies that you can work in to really build your skills and your confidence. So that's what I would say I would do for the first 30 days. And then from day 60, 31 through 60, I would go into those sample files that QuickBooks provide and do real life scenarios, because they actually give you real life scenarios. It's a lawn company, and it can help you learn to clean up messy books, spot errors, and then casually, I would say, start talking to small businesses in your area or people that you know that have small businesses. This will build your confidence. And if you do this in repetition, you're going to get stronger and stronger in building your confidence in QuickBooks Online and in accounting. So, there are things that I would love to teach, but it depends on the response. So, again, let's get into some of the things that we did discuss in the course, and that is some of the common mistakes that new bookkeepers make, and some um, bookkeepers that are advanced. So, some of those are pretty much waiting until you feel ready to start this business. It's not about waiting until you feel ready. It's about if you really want to work remotely and get back your time. It's just like time freedom, financial freedom. Bookkeeping is a very lucrative business. And location freedom. You can do whatever you want, wherever you want. If you want to go on vacation, you can take your laptop with you. If you want to do some work, then there's some other ways that you could do this and have more freedom. Outsourcing is a way. That's something that I plan to utilize. Um, yeah, so it provides you a lot of freedom. And so I'd say don't wait until you feel ready. I say jump in. You've had 4 weeks to get a feel. There's other courses that I have planned and in the works. You guys will be hearing from me sooner than later as the courses are completed, and they will be paid. I'm not going to say that it's going to be free. It's not going to be free. But what I am going to do, I gave this 4-week course, free course, but I think it was just too long because it gave you too long to say, you know what, I don't want to do this, when this is something that can really change your life. If you are looking to change your life, remote bookkeeping can change your life financially and just overall freedom. If you want to spend more time with your family, or you just want to have that freedom to get up and go, or you don't want to report to a boss, remote bookkeeping is the answer because you're working from whatever location you want, your home. You can work in a coffee shop. Um, you can go to get an office if you like. You can go to your client if that's something that you prefer. Me, I prefer not to go and sit in the client's office. They never have space. Although in the past I've done that because that's how I worked. Um, Many years ago, you had to go to the client, but with all of the technology now, you don't have to go to the client. Sorry for moving around, but I'm sitting in a chair from my dining room because my new chair was so uncomfortable. I had to pack it up to get ready to send it out. So you may hear UPS coming to pick that chair up. So I have a chair on order, but because of the snowstorms, it's coming out of Texas. My chair was not shipped out yet. So I hope to have it soon. So anyhow, that's what the squirming is about. So my thing is really basically earn while you learn. That's my philosophy. Earn while you learn. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait for overlearning instead of practicing. You just got to practice. Take small wins. You're gonna use QuickBooks. That's what you're gonna use to process everything. Some people use Xero. I've never used Xero, so I don't recommend Xero. Um, I have nothing bad to say about it. I just have never used it. So Xero is something that I've never used, but QuickBooks Online I have used. I have used QuickBooks Desktop, Enterprise Solution. So every version of Intuit's QuickBooks I have used, and I stand 100% with QuickBooks, and I think it's an easy learn, especially if you're a new. I mean, it's basically with AI, everything's pretty much done. You just have to basically review the feeds, but you still have to understand what you're doing because you don't want to make mistakes in the client's books. And that's another thing. You can work with me at some point. There's no sales today. It's just to go over what was learned. And that's what this is. So, and then to kind of motivate you and encourage you that you can do this. And the other thing is don't compare yourself to people who have had 5 to 10 years ahead of you. Um, don't think you need permission to start, just start. And don't let fear keep you from planning. Don't let fear do that. Just avoid the fear. I gave a lot of scriptures throughout the sessions in my 4 week course. So just trust God 100%. You got this. You got this. So if it's something that you really want to do, if you've been laid off, um, if you find yourself in a position where you don't have a spouse anymore, whatever that situation may be, and you are now the breadwinner, or you just want to spend more time with your family, your children, this is a way. I'm not telling you to quit your job if you have one. I'm telling you to start this, and this will overshadow your job if you do it the right way and you commit. It can change your life. I'm just saying. So, yeah, let's move on. So let's go over. This is another thing that was in the 4 week session. It says who this business is for and who this business is not. This business works for people who like structure and organization. You have to be organized to do this. It's not going to work. And I'm not saying you have to be like super structured, because I am not, but you definitely have to be organized. You need to keep your clients' records straight. You have to have your payments segregated from your personal. So set up a business account separately from your personal account. So things like that. Um, this is for people who don't need constant excitement, because bookkeeping is not going to be constantly exciting. It's not going to be overstimulating. But once you learn it and you enjoy it, it's a joy. I love doing it. It's for people who want flexibility and want to work remote. And that's the thing that I was advertising. If you want to start a remote business, perhaps I should have been a little bit more transparent and let people know that it was actually remote bookkeeping. But I didn't want people to give up just from the title. That's what I didn't want people to give up, because bookkeeping is something that is learnable. It's easy, and you don't have to have a degree. You can learn it. I can teach you. So that's what I'm here for. If you so choose to work with me in the future, again, there's nothing paid today. We're just going over what was taught in the course. I didn't get any questions, so I'm just going by what I have. And the other person that this is good for, people who are okay learning as they go. And that's what I said, earn as you learn, because it's going to take that time for you to get it. I mean, you're not going to learn it overnight, but you can learn enough to get started. Um, this is probably going to be harder for people who need instant results. You have to give it some time, and it will work. There's marketing techniques, the same ones that I use to get people on my list to market to and invite to my course, is what I will teach you at some point. It's not for people who avoid details. You have to be detail oriented, or someone that just pays attention. Um, and it's not for people who hate ongoing learning. You're going to continuously learn, because things change in the accounting industry, rules change, gap change, which is generally accepted accounting principles. I've been in this for over 30 years, and over the last 5 years, we've had the most change in the accounting rules that we've ever seen in a long time. This is going to be harder for people who want 100% passive income. This is not passive income. You're going to put some work in. But once you get your system set up for your particular clients, it's going to be easy. But if you continue to scale and you get more clients, you're going to continuously work until the point where you're going to have to hire somebody, or if you decide you want to outsource. But even if you outsource, you still need to manage what you outsource, because you want to make sure that the work is done properly, because you're going to be held accountable for that work. So that's another thing you would need to get. I would say, well, I wouldn't say a bond, but you have to get E&O insurance, which is errors and omission. So that's just to limit your liability. If you do make a mistake, you have insurance to protect yourself. Or if someone wants to say you made a mistake, you have insurance to protect yourself. And E&O insurance is pretty reasonable based on the amount that you purchase. So that's something that you will learn at a later date. But I do encourage. Sorry about that. The video feed cut off, so we're back. So yeah, so I was saying this is not for someone that wants a 100% passive income, and even if you outsource, you still have to manage that. And then I was also talking about insurance. You will need E&O insurance. So the next thing I want to talk about, if I was to start a new business today in 2026, these are some of my personal lessons that I would like to share with you. Um, how do you get started in this business? How do you get started? So really, it's easy. You just get started. So you've already taken the first step. If you've started the free course, the 4-week free course, that's the first step in getting started, is getting knowledge. So this free course was really simply to see if this is something that you wanted to do. But I believe if you responded to the initial ad, you want to work remote, and this is an opportunity to work remotely. Bookkeeping is easy. It's just basic math. It's no rocket science. It's not chemistry. It's not geometry. It's not um, calculus. It's very basic math that you have to do, but you do need to learn debits, credits. There are certain things about bookkeeping and accounting that you have to learn. You have to learn the basics, and you learn those things in the free course. And then you just continue to build and build and build. So I have some other courses that are coming that I will reach out to you all through email if you want to continue to receive emails from me when those courses are available. I have a mid-range course, which is also another email course if you prefer to work that way. But I'm thinking that I would just give it all to you at one time instead of dripping it. And then there's also a video course if you prefer to work in a video, which is a higher level, more detail. But either one will get you started. The video course is definitely more detailed oriented. And then there's also opportunities to work with me directly. I will be your coach. Again, like I said, I was planning on possibly getting a group of people that want to start with me. I have a business that I started, but I got busy and I had major surgery, which is one of the major reasons. And then, to be honest, because my husband had some massive strokes, I had some illnesses. I actually had to go back to work. That was the reason for ending my first business, because I had a major illness. And so I did go back to work, and then I got laid off. And then I still worked as a consultant. My husband had some strokes in there. So I need to have medical insurance. So I keep a job, even though I may work my business, I keep a job. So I got really busy with my job this year. I was supposed to be laid off, so I was gonna just jump right into my business, and I did, but I wanted to market more with digital marketing. I have a nano degree in digital marketing that I never used, so I went back to studying that, and then work. My job got super busy because I ended up doing two roles, and it's still very busy. The person that I replaced had not done her work. It put me behind, so I'm still catching up, and this is almost a year later. But regardless of starting my business over my accounting practice, which had to sit on the show, I actually did start it while I was working. So, but I didn't push really hard, and some of the clients were just not really worth my time. And you have to know when clients are not worth your time, when they want to not pay. I gave heavy discounts, which I don't recommend. But I was trying to be nice because I work with a lot of nonprofits. That is my expertise: nonprofits and entertainment and small business. So anyhow, that's why I say I'm not telling you to quit your job. I'm telling you that you can quit your job, um, depending on your circumstance. So for me right now, because I have to have medical insurance for me and my husband, so I will always keep a job until I no longer need medical insurance, or until there is some stability in the United States concerning healthcare. So that is the reason why I will keep a job. When I had my other business before, I did not have a job. I did not have medical insurance. But thankfully, my husband, I got married at that time after I started my business, and my husband added me to his insurance. And thank God he did, because I had a major illness and I needed medical insurance, and I was on his insurance at that time. So, okay, let's just get back to other things that I want to share with you. It's good to learn, and it's good to make your mistakes early, especially while you're practicing. And these courses that I created are for you to practice. Um, and I just don't want you to worry about anything. It's just really get started. It's just get started. So things I would do differently from when I had my business before and me starting now. I didn't niche down when I had my other business. I took any clients because I was fresh out of CPA firm, and I felt like I could do anything, which I could because I learned a lot. But if you niche down, it makes your life easier because your focus is always going to be the same subject. So, say for instance, I do nonprofit. I have a lot of experience in nonprofit. So, if you work on nonprofits, pretty much you're going to kind of see the same things. You're going to have the same issues, and you're going to be working in the same gap, generally accepted accounting principles for nonprofits. So niche down if you can, but if you cannot, say for instance, you don't know what area you want to work in, what industry, just take whatever comes your way. That's how I did my business. I took whatever came my way, but I was very specific in the fact that I wanted to work with small businesses and startups. So that's what I focused on, was small businesses and startups. But um I don't recommend working with startups. And that is one thing that I learned. And the reason for that is that startups don't have a lot of money. They can't afford your services. And what you don't want to do is work for pennies. And I have a different mindset. Then I was a lot younger. And at that time, and this is something that I definitely will do different anytime I have a business in accounting. At that time, I took on any client, no matter the size, but my goal was to get small businesses and no more in startups, and no more than like anyone that made more than 500,000. Those are micro businesses, and some of them just can't afford your services. And you have to be aware of what's worth your time and what's worth turning on your computer, because this business can be very lucrative if you let it. But you will always have people that will try to, for lack of better words, get over on you. They want things for cheap. They want the hookup. I don't recommend working with people that don't fit the qualifications that you set. So I would say have a guideline of what you're looking for and who you want to work with, your ideal client. And if someone doesn't fit into the mold of your ideal client, you just simply say that this is not a fit for you and move on, because you'll have issues with them being able to pay you, not being able to cover your fees. And then I would also say don't ever pay for anything out of pocket because they don't want to pay. You invoice and they remove the out of pocket expenses. So these are things that I learned. Small businesses really can't afford, not small business, startups. A lot of startups. There are some startups that can, but you have to qualify them. Startups that have money, that have loans or have income, or that are pre-IPO, or that have gotten a lot of funding. So you need to qualify the startups. And that's what I had, startups that had no money. They just simply thought they needed an accountant because they needed an accountant, which they couldn't afford. And to be honest, every startup, just because your startup doesn't need a full-time accountant or a bookkeeper, um, they can just simply, put something together and go to a tax preparer at the end of the year. So Those are things that I learned. And then the other thing is make sure you collect your money up front. So you want to know how much you're going to charge. So you don't want to charge hourly. And that's what I was doing before, was charging hourly. And then I changed that in the middle of that because I learned fairly quickly. You want your money up front. You don't want collection issues, because if you have to go to collection agency, they're going to take over half of your money. So you don't want to have to do that. So you always want to collect up front. Just like an attorney. An attorney does not start unless you give a retainer. And that's what we want to do. We want our money up front. So what you want to do, you're going to have an engagement letter. You're going to let them know. The engagement letter lets them know what you are engaged to do and what you are not engaged to do. So there will be no issues of them saying you didn't do this, you didn't. No. If they say you didn't do this, go to the engagement letter. This is in the engagement. This is what I'm engaged to do, and this is how much you're going to charge them per month. And you also should have a setup fee, because you need to set them up on QuickBooks. And it's not just simply because there's a fee for that. They need to pay the fee for QuickBooks. They need to pay for your time in setting up QuickBooks. And then they need to pay the monthly fee for QuickBooks, if you so choose to put it in your name. Or you can have them set it up and give you accountants access, which I recommend. But always get your money up front, have them pay you. You definitely want to get a setup fee. So we'll discuss what that is. Pretty much I do um, like 2 months in advance, which is not in advance of their payment. It's just my setup fee. But that's how I'm calculating. 2 months of what I would charge is your setup fee. And then you get your first month up front. So that's basically 3 months up front. That is not what I'm telling you to do. That's what I've done. But you want to get your money. And then you want to have them set up where you automatically get your money. You don't bill them. You give them a payment receipt, and you get your money up front. You have them sign that they're saying they're authorizing you to debit, ACH, however you want your money paid to you. You're authorized. They're authorizing you to get it on the first of the month. You want your money in advance before you start working on their next month's work. Otherwise, you'll never get it. Those are things that I've learned. So that's what I would do differently. I know I'm jumping around, but there's no questions. I'm just going by what I have in my phone. Um, so I guess the next thing I guess I would talk about is, if you feel overwhelmed right now going through the course, you shouldn't. Um, because I made the course where it was very low stress, because of some medical things that I'm dealing with. And I really wanted to create this course because there are tons of courses out there, but I wanted this course to be affordable for everyone, because I've paid tons of money on courses, thousands and thousands of dollars, and then you lose out or you don't complete it. Like, I had over almost 200 people that responded, and literally 15 ended up opening my emails at the end. They all opened in the beginning, and only 5 would click on the links for the answers. So I'm thinking maybe 1 to 5 people worked on the course. I don't even know if anybody finished. I have no questions um, that came through. And right now, I don't even know if anybody's on watching. So, but I have created several courses. I have to complete the recordings on the third course. And then the other course, most of it is complete and is another email course. But again, I wanted it to be affordable because you have tons of bookkeeping gurus out there. But I'm here to tell you that I am living proof, because I've done the work. I am a CPA. You don't have to be a CPA, but I happen to be a CPA that loves bookkeeping. Even though I've done a lot of complicated stuff, bookkeeping is my love and my passion. And I really just know that it can change your life. And I really wanted to create something that was affordable. And that's what I feel like I've done. And you'll hear more about it later. you won't be paying $1,000 for a course from me, at least not right now. Um, that's not my plan to sell a course at $1,000. Yes, it will definitely be under $1,000. So if you feel like you really want to start a remote bookkeeping business and you want to change your life financially, you want to change your life and have freedom, then I think this is something that will help you. And you may ask, well, you work a job. Why do you work a job? I work a job because I need medical insurance and my job is flexible. I work remote. The job that I have is remote, so I can work anywhere that I want. I can flex my hours. I will not take a job that's going to require me to be at my desk 24 hours a day. Yes, I do work a lot. I have a lot of work. I get my work done, but I have a lot of physical therapy appointments. I had major surgery a year ago, well, almost 2 years now, and I'm still in therapy. I'm still recovering. So I work remotely no matter what. So I can work my regular job and work my business because I work remotely. I have time freedom. The only thing that the job doesn't give me is financial freedom, but my remote bookkeeping business does. So that's why I'm saying to you, if this is something that you truly want to do, I would encourage you to do it. I'm not saying quit your job right now. I'm saying that it's something that could possibly replace your income, but it depends on how much time you put in. I can't make a guarantee on anything. I'm not guaranteeing anything because I can't do that because it depends on you. So there is no guarantees made here, but I do know that it can possibly change your life if you let it, if you try. So that's that. So I just want to encourage you all that um, to look out for my future emails. And if you really want to start a remote bookkeeping business and you want to change your life, this is something that I believe that can possibly help you do that. So I encourage you to look out for the emails. I'm not making any promises that you're going to be a millionaire. No one can do that. I can't even make any promises on how much you can make. But what I can say, it has the potential to change your life if you let it. So I think that's about all I have for this. So again, if you have questions, again, no one submitted questions. I don't know who's on here, if anybody's on here, but I wanted to go ahead and do the webcast. It should have been a webinar, but since I have no questions and I had to switch gears fairly quickly because I didn't realize my Google Meet is not working, it's not recording. I have a paid subscription to Microsoft 365 and it should have allowed me to record, but it's not. So I switched over to Teams. So just look out for my future emails if this is something that you potentially want to do that can possibly change your life for the better. I know it's not going to make your life worse unless you quit and you give up. So if you have any questions or you're interested in moving forward, reach out to me at support@graceandprofit.com. I will get back to you. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one, not for free, it won't be for free. I will give you a price at that time, depending on what you want to do. If you want to work with me one-on-one, again, reach out to me at support@graceandprofit.com. Um, And if you're interested in working alongside me as I develop my bookkeeping business again, it's not going to be free because it's going to be my time. I will show you some of the things that I do. Can't guarantee everything, but you'll learn depending on how many hours you want to work with me. And if you want to follow along, reach out to me at support@graceandprofit.com. And again, I'm Marriott. I'm the creator of the remote bookkeeping business course and the Grace and Profit community. So I hope to see you in the Facebook group, and I hope you will consider becoming a remote bookkeeper and starting your own remote bookkeeping business. Um, Again, reach out to me. I would love to have you move forward with me in some of the courses that are coming forward, or just simply as a coach. So again, reach out to me, support at graceandprofit.com. Have a blessed day. Thank you for your time. As always, check out the YouTube channel. I'm going to be putting more things on there. This live will go on YouTube, so you can check it out. And with that,